Hi fish fans, I'm Raina the Mermaid and I'm excited to bring back my Mermaid Monday series. This bi-weekly recap covers everything from mermaid pop culture to community news. We'll dive into celebrity sightings, events, and sometimes spill a little tea, along with the latest mermaid-related content in the news and media. Before we get started, please like and subscribe, and if you want email notifications, click the bell. Your views help me keep this channel running, and I really appreciate when you share my videos and help me gain new dedicated subscribers. I really want to share mermaiding with the world and help raise the industry standard. So let's swim into it. This week, I came across a trailer for a new HBO Max series called It's Florida Man. And to my surprise, it featured a story I'm familiar with, and even some people I personally know. The show focuses on bizarre crime stories from Florida, and the trailer, I recognized the depiction of a very real and ongoing harassment case involving a professional mermaid. But what shocked me most in the show is that it presents this serious case as comedy. The real-life case behind the show. Before we begin, I want to provide a quick legal disclaimer. The information in this video is a summary of publicly available articles regarding a real-life legal case. The events and allegations discussed here are based on published reports and may or may not have been proven. Any opinions expressed, I will be clear if they're my opinion and my own, and I encourage viewers to read the original articles linked in the description below for yourself. Make up your own mind about things and read the facts. This story centers around a beautiful mermaid named Whitney Fair. I've gotten to speak with her a few times online and see her pictures. She is stunning. She's a longtime mermaid performer with a group called the Aquatic Cats. If this was a troupe led by industry leader Medusa Serena, famous for their underwater shows at Fort Lauderdale's Rec Bar. They don't have their shows anymore, but this was peak mermaid, let me tell you. I followed them for years. Whitney loved her job as a professional mermaid, but things took a dark turn when she met a fellow mermaid, Mia Mellies, who joined the troupe a few years earlier before her in 2015. I have watched all of these women perform online. I have gobbled up all of their content, watching their videos, their pictures. Way back in my early beginner baby mermaid days, I was watching Medusa Serena perform, and their stuff was legendary. The first underwater burlesque act in America. So cool. In 2018, though, tensions between Whitney and Mia escalated after Whitney left a group chat that was run by Mia, which Whitney felt was kind of toxic and filled with criticism of their boss, Medusa Serena. I think we've all been in a group chat like that. I've fallen victim to it myself as well. It happens in these communities. What started as typical community drama quickly spiraled out of control. After a heated argument poolside where Whitney reportedly stood up to Mia, Mia was fired from the troupe. And just as an aside from my own personal experience and opinion, it is so difficult running a mermaid troupe and managing all the different personalities and things that can clash. Sometimes people have really intense personalities and a fiery passion, and it can lead to arguments. Unfortunately, what followed after this was 3 years of escalating harassment that Whitney described as an absolute nightmare. And it's important for me to just remind you that everything I'm telling you, I'm pulling from articles directly quoted from the people involved. I'm doing my best to be as accurate as possible, so you should definitely read those articles below because I'm summarizing everything at a high level, and there's a lot more detail that I'm not getting into. Things got truly bizarre in 2019 when Mia and her husband, Jeff Mellies, a lieutenant with the Broward Sheriff Office, moved in next door to Whitney. According to security footage that is available on YouTube, Jeff was caught trespassing on Whitney's property multiple times, even climbing a ladder that was against her house in order to tamper with the security cameras. Now, I dug into this a bit, and Mia and Jeff claim that it's because they did all kinds of different practices in their backyard that involved nudity, and they didn't want Whitney spying on them. Whitney's side of the story is that she had the cameras up to protect herself from these neighbors that she's having an issue with. So in addition to this physical trespassing, Whitney also reported verbal harassment, including some incidents that were caught on camera, where Mia was screaming death threats at her. I can't actually quote what was said or YouTube will demonetize my video. You can read it in the article. I hope you bleep die. So this is very quickly spiraling into not your typical mermaid drama. This situation of ex-coworker mermaids now living next door to each other became even more unsettling because of Jeff's position as a law enforcement officer. Whitney began to notice that Mia and Jeff knew and would claim things about her online that were her personal information that really they couldn't have learned it legally. It wasn't public. This led to Whitney believing that Jeff had possibly misused his access to police databases. Ugh. It turns out Whitney was right. In 2021, an internal affairs investigation confirmed that Jeff had conducted improper searches on Whitney and two of the other mermaids from the show, The Aquatic Cats, during their investigation. Jeff admitted to running these checks but claimed that they were part of a criminal investigation. However, when he was asked for his official reasoning, Jeff's response was, and I quote from official transcript, "Anything I do is official. I am a police officer 24/7. That's not how the law actually works. For this misconduct, Jeff was suspended for only 5 days without pay, and an administrative cease and desist was ordered to him to cease all contact with Whitney and the other women involved. Despite this, Mia continued to harass Whitney through social media because the cease and desist was against Jeff from his department, not against her, posting about her, revealing personal details, and even making accusations that Whitney was involved in drug dealing. This was based on a 24-year-old minor cannabis possession charge that was expunged. This is what they looked up on the police database. Mia and Jeff allegedly used TikTok and Facebook to continue a smear campaign against Whitney, including posting a lot of disturbing content, like Mia appearing to drink from a skull with the caption, "I will drink from the skulls of my enemy." Now, I have seen a lot of stuff like this on the mermaid community, believe it or not. In fact, I got pulled into some of it in my own experience many years ago, where there's this back and forth online and things are getting escalated and people are making posts kind of baiting each other as a way to argue with each other, and it can get really nasty really fast. People always say to take the high road, and that's such an easy thing to say when you're not the people involved in the situation. Mia identifies as a pagan witch, and her TikTok is extremely popular. I checked it out just through a Google search, and girl is getting millions of views. She's making really beautiful makeup videos and photo shoot videos and all kinds of stuff. All right, here's where we get to the legal action and the fallout. In 2022, Whitney, along with two other mermaids, filed a lawsuit in U.S. District Court against Jeff and Mia, accusing Jeff of abusing his law enforcement position and violating their privacy rights. The lawsuit claimed that the couple had brought them into public scandal, causing mental suffering, humiliation, and damaging their reputations. It took me a little bit to figure out this next part. I had to ask around because this is sort of where the articles on the stories end, but from what I've heard, the case was eventually settled, but the details on the settlement remain private and there hasn't been much news since. However, it's clear that Whitney and the other merfolk involved went through an ordeal that had never should have been escalated to such an extreme level. I mean, feuding neighbors, illegal police background checks, TikTok video callouts. This is really, really, really extreme. I've summarized the key points here, but it's way worse than what I'm summarizing. So if you want all the details on the allegations, you can review the links in the descriptions. Some things I literally cannot summarize for you because if I say certain keywords, YouTube will demonetize me for sharing it. So definitely check that out. Turning tragedy into comedy. With all this in mind, imagine how upsetting it was to see HBO Max turn this story into a parody for its Florida Man. This is a real traumatic event for the people involved, yet the show treats it like entertainment. And as someone who knows some of the people affected, it's really disheartening to see their pain minimized for laughs and to be the butt of a joke. I've been through this myself where I've spoken in the media about harassment of the non-consensual kind, because I can't say the trigger word here, and it got played off for jokes. It got quoted on Stephen Colbert, which was kind of cool, but it did get played off for jokes. When women report harassment and stalking, especially in niche communities like ours, they're often dismissed or not taken seriously. Adding the element of a mermaid persona only complicates this, as people often don't see the performers as real individuals with boundaries. On top of that, the admitted misuse of police power by Jeff adds a layer of injustice to this entire story. The mermaid in the show is portrayed by Anna Faris. She is the ex-wife of Chris Pratt, and she's known for doing lots of really funny comedy shows and films. She's a loving mom to a young boy, and I really like her as an individual, so I'm kind of bummed to see her take on a role that's taking shots at mermaids. I've had my own personal experiences with both community drama and harassment, including a real-life fan who stalked me in person that I needed to get the police involved with. I've also dealt with toxic individuals from within the mermaid community. In fact, I've crossed paths with Mia myself, which resulted in she and I blocking each other online, which is fine. I've seen firsthand how this type of behavior can escalate, and I've experienced it myself. I think that's why this kind of adds a chip in my shoulder. Now, I want to be clear that my issues weren't specifically with Mia, but with someone different, but I do know how easily these things can escalate into an online war back and forth of he said, she said, manipulated screenshots, TikTok videos, and all that. What about the impact on the mermaid community? Let's talk about that for a second. This is really why I wanted to make this video. It's one thing to be interested that there's a TV show coming out that features a story, but this show's portrayal of this case could have real consequences for the professional mermaid community. Will people think twice about hiring mermaids for their events after seeing us portrayed in such a light? Our community is filled with talented performers who do amazing things. Whitney and Mia both have crazy mermaid talents, and it's wild to see them both reduced to this crazy situation. Everything from athletic feats to charity work and ocean education, but it seems like the drama and oddities are the only thing that ever makes it to TV. You should Google what professional mermaids do if you've never heard of us before and this is your first time being exposed to this community through this video. Mermaids are out there doing absolutely amazing and wild stuff, swimming with sharks and whales, doing hospital visits, Make-A-Wish, putting on elaborate shows, doing stunts for movies and videos. So what do you think about this story being turned into an episode of this TV show? Will you be watching the episode? It airs soon this month. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts about mer community drama being turned into a comedy TV show. In fact, do you think it's mer community drama, or is it something way more serious than that? Do we often, as a community, minimize really serious situations and reduce them to something as banal as online interactivity when really they're escalating to as serious as climbing a ladder outside someone's house that you've moved next door to? I don't know. Anyway, if you have any mermaid related news or events that you'd like me to cover on Mermaid Monday, send me a message or an email or leave a link in the comment with a brief summary and any relevant links. Whether it's an upcoming movie you know about, a community event like a convention, celebrity spotted in a mermaid tale, hey, it happens, I want to hear about it. I plan to try to do these videos bi-weekly. They may focus around one individual story, like this case, or they may just be a vignette of all the different news stories related from the past few weeks that involve mermaids. Thank you so much for supporting my videos. We just hit 700,000 subscribers. I'm so appreciative of all your support. Be sure to follow me on other social media. I'm trying to build up my Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. It's not as popular as my YouTube, so I would really appreciate if you did that. For more updates on the mermaid world, you can like and subscribe. You can also join my Facebook group, Raina the Mermaid Sea Fans. Thanks so much for checking out this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Best fishes!